Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Woo, well, I'm alive. I know the last time we talked was when I was admitting myself to the hospital, and it's been a while because that turned into a 5-day, very scary stint. Ooh. So you know how I was going for the dream. I was going for the dream. This new, very scary protocol. It's scary enough to do. It's really strong. It's taking my energy. I've worked so hard to maintain keeping a body. You know this. Keeping energy to be able to go for walks and be able to fuel myself with being in the middle of the woods. But this particular choice that I made, which was to grab the 3-week interval, right? Admit myself to the hospital for 24 hours to have the very scary azaliplatin that could give me anaphylactic reaction, but if I get it in my system, it could control the cancer, you know, right? Because we're scared because it's moved to my head and we don't know if anything's working yet. So I have to do this. It's going to be another 2 months before I do any type of testing to know if it's actually even working. So this has got to work. But I tried to grab those 3 weeks for a different quality of life. And also, like, I don't know if things are working. So is this my last summer? But hot damn, that did not work out. So you admit yourself to the hospital and then you take pills, remember? You take 14 days of pills. That means that I get to stay out of the hospital for an extra week. It sounded glorious. It sounded glorious, and it was not. The first time around, I was okay for 7 days. The last 7 days were awful. I didn't really get that extra week. And then this last time around, I ended up in the hospital within 3 days of taking it. Vomiting diarrhea every 10 minutes. I was so dehydrated by the time I got to the hospital. We waited too long. I always overestimate myself, but I have a rule when I go to the hospital. The rule is you walk in, you walk out. That's my rule. You walk in, you walk out. And I don't care how hard it is. There's been times where I've had in between liver surgeries every 10 days. Remember those 3 surgeries? But I walked in, and my team knew how important it was to me, so they would follow me with wheelchairs. They would give me that option. Walk in, walk out. This was the first time ever that I couldn't do that. I was in a wheelchair by the time my wife got me to the hospital. And it was very scary because I couldn't stand up again for like 3 more days. It's so terrifying how quickly that happens. When I first got sick, that's what happened. I didn't have the normal, warning signs. Oh, you must have had problems with your shitter. You must have had problems with this. No, going to spin class every day, drinking green juice, living my best life, retired. So excited for the next venture in life. Bam! Stage 4 cancer, and couldn't walk within 2 weeks. And it took months. It took almost a year to get that back. So this is very scary. This was a very scary hospital visit. It took me 5 days in there, and then it's been about 4 or 5. It's been a week. I got out last Thursday, and I'm sorry I haven't talked since. But it's been a real rough recovery. It did make me though decide to change my treatment protocol. So as you know, this treatment that I'm on this is it. This is the last in line. There's nothing else, and it's considered the bomb, man. But couldn't take those pills, so I did realize how important continuity of care is with science on this hospital trip, because I was so scared, and I was at regional hospital that to have something like this happen away from the safety of home was just terrifying. But it was such an amazing hospital, and not just because they had great care, which thank you very much, but there's nurses that practice energy healing, and so they would come around and ask if you were up for a session. There's people that bring their dogs in, crawl into bed with you. They're just treating the whole human. The nurses had time to talk with you, and the doctors had time, and it was just, you felt so supported and so cared for as a total. And I realized that I do have an option. I do have an option. I get to return to the every 2-week option in infusion. And it's ugly and it's not what I wanted, and I didn't want to be attached to chemo for a week, but it is an option, so I'm going to do it. But I recognize that I need the care to go with the science. I need the care to go with the science. I need my old team. I need the support of my nurses. I need to walk in the door and have people know my name. I need the whole part of me. And so I've taken a look at, okay, this dream model of treatment isn't going to exist, and that's okay. So I'm going to return to my OG team on Mondays. I'm going to check in with them. They're going to do blood work, and we're going to have chats. I feel like it's a nice like hug handoff. And then I go to the state hospital for my treatment, for my 24 hours in the hospital. I get out, I go back to my team. They finish it off with the infusion there with, I get to be attached to a ball. The state hospital doesn't have that, unfortunately, because of, you know, being behind on resources. And so I get to go home. I don't have to spend the entire time in the hospital. And so this to me makes me feel like I can do this. I can do this psychologically with the support. So I'm gonna do that. Starting next week when I go back. Haha. The one glorious thing that came out of all of this is, hey! That crow that you were hearing was making a lot of noise because its bird, looks like its baby fell out of its nest. So I'm keeping my dog away from exploring in that area so they can relax. The amazing thing that happened out of this is that after all of that, you remember this has been a long 14 days, right? I went to an LCD concert with friends in Chicago, an outdoor venue, fantastic. Checked myself into the hospital the next day. Checked myself out on Thursday, flew to Jackson Hole, proceeded to get tremendously sick, couldn't leave my house bed for 3 days, ended up in the hospital. All of that. And these last couple of days, God bless my wife, man, because this has been a very scary incident for both of us. And then she was willing to take my ass to Montana because we had a music festival there, camp, that we were going to go see. It was a dream of mine. I've always wanted to like go to a music fest in the mountains in Montana. And so we did. We did. And, you know, it wasn't as I imagined. I wasn't dancing in the mountains per se, but I was there. I had a good time. My wife and I were able to successfully navigate a road trip to kind of like conclude this very scary, gross couple of weeks. And to get ourselves ready, we've got a couple more days to be able to relax before we head back to Chicago and check out this new protocol. So it was amazing. It was amazing. I made it. I made it to Montana. All right. Well, I'm sorry for letting it go for so long, but this was a rough one. This was very scary. But I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. All right. Ooh, someone's coming. I'll chat with you soon. Thanks for checking in on me. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I just had to share something with you because as rough as this has been these last couple of weeks, to make it to Montana. It was huge, right? But today I had to go back to the doctor for my check-in for my hospital visit. It's 10 miles round trip to the doctor. A beautiful park, bike pathway. And I rode my bicycle. It was a couple-hour endeavor, but because I have the support of my wife and I've got the drive to try to recover, it was I may not have been able to walk in and walk out of this hospital visit, but by damn, I rode my bicycle in for blood work and back. And now I'm gonna have a little treat. I know when you're like super sick, like going to the hospital, that's the worst time to have treats. You should be doing the best for your body, but I got huckleberry ice cream and I'm gonna sit on my patio and I'm gonna eat some huckleberry ice cream and I'm gonna grill dinner for my wife, and there's just not a better way to spend a day. So, until next time.